Majestical Services is a Discord-based free content creation company. They can create any logo, banner, or background you could imagine. They can build your Discord server or make you your own bot and help you grow your own community, all for free. Availability is limited since their queue is so big. Get there while you can. Join at majestical.robsrandomstuff.com. For those of you who can't spell, that's majestical.robsrandomstuff.com. NASA's Artemis-I is the first of its program of incredibly complex missions that will enable exploration on the Moon and Mars, laying down the foundation for a long-term moon base and further deep space exploration. Welcome to Rob's Random Stuff, the podcast that varies so wildly in topics that no algorithm would dare pick us up. You might notice that this episode is quite a bit shorter than the other ones, and that's because I'm playing with a concept I like to call Rob's Random Headline, in which I find a headline that I find particularly interesting and spend a couple minutes researching and a couple minutes talking about it. I don't know if this is going to stick around, but it will probably be once every other week, as well as the main podcast being once every other week, which means an episode coming out every week, if that makes any sense at all. I don't know if this is going to be sticking around, but we'll try it out. Let's see how it goes. Launched on November 16th, 2022 at 12:04 a.m. Central Standard Time, that is, the most powerful rocket in history to roam the skies follows in the footsteps of the Saturn V rocket at NASA's Florida launch site, Artemis-I. Artemis-I has had its fair share of problems, though. 2 of its launches were canceled due to technical difficulties and another few due to a hurricane. After years of delay and countless hours of dedication, NASA has finally managed to get that thing up there. The rocket and its capsule, named the Orion capsule, will take a 1.3 million mile journey to the moon and back for the first time since the Apollo missions. But this begs a question. What are they doing up there? After our last moon mission, we all thought it was not going to happen again. The United States was done with the moon and Russia was nowhere to be found. Well, according to NASA, Artemis-I's main goal is to assure a safe trip and splashdown back onto Earth. They have some test dummies up there to make sure those theoretical humans won't turn into slushies upon re-entry. But it's doing quite a few more things while it takes its trip around the moon. Artemis-I is proving NASA's concept for deep space exploration, laying down the foundation for future space exploration around the moon and eventually to Mars. Now, before I move on, I think I should describe what all is on this rocket, so you have at least an idea of what's going on if you haven't seen it already. Artemis-I has a few RS-25 engines at the bottom of a liquid hydrogen fuel tank with 2 solid-state rocket boosters attached. These massive solid rocket boosters will separate from the main tank, and the rocket will continue on its journey up to space about halfway through the atmosphere. From there, the main tank will separate, leaving an RL-10 engine to carry that rocket up to the moon. On top of it lies some fuel, a crew pod, a service module, and an abort system that makes up the Orion capsule. Standing on Earth at a whopping 322 feet, this is the largest rocket ever to launch into space. The rocket's also carrying 13 small satellites that NASA calls CubeSats. They will basically orbit the moon and go further into space and will investigate those areas and provide NASA with some data on deep space, I guess. They don't really have too much information on that, but I'm sure they're doing something cool with it. Artemis-I is not the only spacecraft in the program, however. Right now they have 2 and 3 planned, set for 2024 and 2025 respectively. One of them is supposedly launching another space station called Gateway that will be orbited around the moon. The small space station will serve as a lunar outpost and support long-term missions on the moon, as well as a gateway to Mars. They're planning on launching a lunar cabin complete with a rover and a mobile home up there to stay on the surface of the moon and serve as a place for astronauts to stay while they study that area. The Artemis program will also be sending the first woman to the moon, a big milestone in space exploration. Well, that's pretty much all I've got for this really short episode. There's a ton of information on NASA's website that I didn't get to, as well as videos and images and a live stream of the mission. You can visit their website at nasa.gov/Artemis-1. That is ARTEMIS-1. 1 as in the number. As always, thank you for listening. If you want to hear more, you can find this podcast pretty much wherever you get your podcasts, or visit our website at robsrandomstuff.com.